Guys, me again, Arsenal 3, Cologne 1. We kick off the Europa League, this Z-list competition with a victory. I mean, going into the game, first things first, if you're watching this, credit to you, it is late. We know we kicked off an hour later. Safety, let's just talk about that briefly now. Of course, I'm not saying anyone could have predicted what could have happened, but just like every other aspect of this club, there was a lack of forward thinking. It's Cologne's first European tie in a while. If you do your homework on away fans and away and how people act on our opponents, how they act away from home or at home in general, you would see that this is what happens. And yeah, man, it wasn't nice scenes, and I was even heard stories of people losing their children in the ground. No one wants to hear things like that. But let's move away from that. Going into the game, we know we just needed to simply win today, start off the group strongly. We've got Chelsea. We knew we was going to rest players. So yeah, while we're on there, we might as well talk about the starting lineup. I mean, I did expect Wilshere to play. Wenger played very coy on that. It seems like he's very reluctant to play him at the moment. I don't know what Wilshere's done to Wenger or what he's got on Wenger, but you need to say sorry because we need you. So in that regards, we saw Wobie playing in the central midfield role. Maitland-Niles started at left wing back. Theo came into the side. Giroud got a start. Alexis needed 90 minutes, so he played. And yeah, there's probably a couple other changes, but guys, I'm too tired to think of the rest. Oh, and Holding came into the side, Mertesacker came into the side, or Spina came into the side. I think that's it. So, like, yeah, first 10 minutes in particular, due to what happened before, you could see the fans were G'd up of Cologne, and they got behind their team. And we know the Emirates. That's probably the best atmosphere the Emirates has seen in a while. We know the Emirates is a haunted house. It makes no noise. So yeah, it was almost like playing away from home at times. They really got behind them. The Cologne players really fed into the energy in the first 10 minutes. Went to Cologne. I mean, they were rigid defensively. They made a case of trying to ping the ball over the top and get onto our high line. I mean, I don't know why we keep doing that. They were galvanized. They were flying into challenges. They were working, and they deserved their goal in the 9th minute. Poor defending led to it. We weren't closing down. Ospina came and cleared half-hearted clearance into nowhere. Between his distribution into nowhere and his clearances like this throughout the whole game, it was pretty shocking. And credit to Cordoba, but that was like 36, 40 yards. He smacked it in. He saw speed off his yards, off his line. And if we weren't woken up already due to what's happened, we sure need to wake up. That didn't really happen throughout the whole of the first half. Struggling to string passes together. There's a lack of cutting edge. Alexis was one of the better players. But whether it was him or Theo, just a final ball, it was either under hit or over hit. Like I said, we weren't stringing any passes together. We're giving away silly fouls. We're seeming not to realise that we're playing a high line. They're trying to ping balls over the top. Too much faith in players. You saw Holding just simply pointing to his teammates about opposition. Man, you've got to be pessimistic and not gamble. Gamble in the sense that you've got to expect your centre half not to make that. That's as a fullback. I was always taught that. If I relate it back to being a fullback, I was always taught don't chance it. If whether you believe your centre half can get it or not, you still need to go. But our play was just we're struggling to get out of first gear. We were just sloppy. There was no inspiration in the first half, and we deserved to be 1-0 down. We did not test their keeper, considering that it's us at home and things like that. We really allowed them. Theo, I don't know what he was doing throughout the first half in particular. How many times do you want to be offside? Remove the number 14, please. You're number 32. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in that regards. Like, it's just backwards passing. I mean, Nene, I've got time for you. You can be used to shutout games, but you've got to be braver in possession to play for a club like this. We need to start seeing courage in the central midfield. Like I said, I forgot to mention Holding had a tough time in the first half, in my opinion. You can see why he was dropped. I mean, I didn't agree with it, but you could see why he was lucky not to be booked. In like the 3rd minute for a yellow card where he got caught trying to play. And I do have a lot of sympathy for Holding because of the reluctance to play in centre mid and playing free at the back. Your centre mids have to want the ball, or you're just going to be stuck. He was trying to bring it forward, trying to get people in. I also think Maitland-Niles had a good first half. But other than that, they deserve to be 1-0 up. We didn't do enough. We didn't do enough. And the second half, I'll be fair, I'll be honest. We started off strongly. We started off better. We did what we should have done in the first half. We really should have killed this game. Ideal scenario is we kill this game 3 or 4-0. We take off Alexis, we take off X, Y, and Z, and we prepare for Chelsea. But that's not what happened. But I'll give credit where it's due. I think it was the 48th minute. Lovely ball from El Nene to find Theo. Eventually, there was a kerfuffle. Eventually, it falls to Kozlesniak, the sub who came on at halftime for Holding. He smashes and it's 1-1 and we're finally awake and things like that. Then we go and get a second, 66th minute. Maitland-Niles, who by then is now in central midfield, his more familiar position. Most people won't talk about because he's not the sort of player to grab headlines. He wins the ball back by putting a foot in. Iwobi clips it towards Alexis. Alexis is forced slightly out wide, and it's just a terrific bit of play from Alexis, from the big man, from Sanchez, and he just bends it in, and that's a terrific strike. I mean, we saw about 3 terrific goals then, man, and then yeah. I don't know why Theo. What is Theo? Theo could have had a few if he just stayed on side. I really don't know what it is. There was one time he was actually on side and he was marked off. But just come on, you're a big man to be constantly caught offside. You're very frustrating because the runs are actually good. Of course, in the 80th, by the 81st minute, Bellerin wrapped it up. A lovely bit of play. Theo misses a shot. Eventually, Bellerin puts it in and it's 3-1 and we're in for the good. But throughout the whole game, you're just looking at his individual brilliance with Alexis, and because Lesniak's finishing the chances, and just the standard of player. We have no disrespect to Cologne above them. It got us through it, but that was no stretch of the imagination by any means an easy game. We did not play well enough, in my opinion. We did not play good enough, and we can. If I don't really care for Europa League, you guys know me already. But to have any chance for those that want to watch it, and just to downright put a nice showing in the Arsenal shirt, you've got to play much better than that. I'm impressed with our young players. I think Maitland-Niles had a very good game. He's not the player that's going to grab headlines, that's going to do 1,000 skills and score from 40 yards. He's going to receive the ball. He's going to be in the right positions. He's going to win the ball back. He's going to play it forward and not be scared. These are the sort of things that make you a competent player. And he's nothing to write home about, but he can be a great team player for us. Like I said, man, 3-1, it flatters us. All we can do is think towards Chelsea. But guys, I can't lie to you, I'm shattered. I know you guys are shattered. Let me not continue waffling. Deluded Guna, I'm signing out. Like I said at the beginning, Arsenal 3, Cologne 1. Thank you for watching. Thank you for messing with the YouTuber in this, N'Golo Kante of this, the guy they love to hate. I'm out, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Comment, subscribe. I'm out.